As many of you know, Gardner Minshew might possibly be the most underrated player in the NFL. This is a man who has thrown for many more touchdowns than he has interceptions. This is a person who has completed 60% of his passes. This is a person who possibly should have beaten, at least in my opinion, Kyler Murray in his rookie year for Rookie of the Year. Now, that's all gone and past. But there's as this offseason winds down, as we've seen teams sign quarterbacks, draft quarterbacks, it means that there's less places for Minshew to be. So today I'm going to talk about, some of the last ditch efforts we could see to get Minshew away from Jacksonville, potentially in a starting role, most likely in a backup, or at least competing for a starting role. We're going to talk about that, but in what is perhaps the biggest Gardner Minshew update of the offseason, it is my sad duty to report that the mullet of Minshew has been shaved. As you can clearly see from this picture posted on Instagram, Gardner Minshew's mullet, the mullet he has sported for over a year, has been cut from his head. He is now just, he's got a fade going there, and it's a pretty good fade, but man, this is a dark day for the NFL, knowing that the mullet of Minshew has now seemed to have passed. And we all thought we saw those pictures earlier in the offseason with Gardner Minshew. He's sporting the mullet. He was sporting the swag, all the leather jacket and all that. We all thought that this was going to be a new and improved version of Gardner Minshew. Alas, we've come to find out that the mullet is gone. We've come to find out that the Jags drafted Trevor Lawrence, and now a lot of other teams have picked up a lot of other options at quarterback, as I said. So that leaves the question, where does Minshew land? And I think that the question of where does Minshew land, it depends on a few different factors. One, you could easily say the Saints, because I do believe the Saints, no matter what anyone tells you, no matter what we might hear or see from training camp or what the contract situation is with Taysom Hill, no matter all of that, I do believe that that's a team that's still going to be in play until we see what these two and Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill have to offer in the preseason. Until then, Gardner Minshew I still think is a viable option for a trade because he's very much similar to Drew Brees in some ways. Whether it be his accuracy, whether it be his like that sneaky little bit of mobility. Even though a lot of people said towards the end Drew Brees was pretty much a statue. Brees, like during his best years, did have a little bit of mobility, more than you would think. So, given all of that, given that Minshew is someone who's proven he can come in and he can run an offense, he can come in and be probably the best game manager in the NFL, I think that offers a lot to teams. And I'm saying, Jim, that game manager is just what we've seen. I think Gardner Minshew has potential to be a very high-level player in the NFL. The issue is every time he seems to be taking a step forward or get a chance, he's either on a terrible team, and the coaches bench him or what have you. Something always happens. But again, that's the NFL. It's the nature of the beast. But the Saints are a team that I could still see him going to. Another team that I could see, and this might surprise some people, I could very well see the Denver Broncos. And this is only if they don't get Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers isn't in orange and white to start the season here in Denver, I think the Denver Broncos, it would behoove them, given the talent that they have around them in that quarterback position, given that defense, and given, Vic Fangio, I believe he's coaching for his career at this point. Given all of that, you need to bring in someone who can light a spark in that team. And we saw Minshew do that in his rookie year. And that's why I think Gardner Minshew to the Broncos could be a viable option. That Broncos team, I talked about it. They have Cortland Sutton. They have Jerry Jeudy. They have Noah Fant. They have improved their offensive line. To say that, the Broncos, they should stick with the guy that they have. They should stick with Drew Lock. The Broncos shouldn't stick with Drew Lock if they struck out on Aaron Rodgers. No, you go for what you can. Vic Fangio, you're coaching for your career. Your job is on the line. If there's not improvement this year, if you don't make the playoffs, you're done. And this guy, while a lot of people might not think it, could very well possibly be the answer. On a good team, surrounded by really good pieces, maybe pick up an offensive lineman. Gardner Minshew can do some damage in Denver. They're not going to beat the Chiefs. Yet, maybe. They're not going to beat the Chiefs. They're not going to win the division. But can the Denver Broncos, led by Gardner Minshew at quarterback, compete for one of the 7 playoff spots? Absolutely. He absolutely will make this team better by coming on there, because the Broncos are a team that, there were, for a long time, a lot of people thought they're a quarterback away. They're a quarterback away from winning. They're a quarterback away from being relevant. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.